Hey legends, what's up? It's Dark Mech here from Big Dumb Gaming and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at the Blood Death Knight in patch 9.2, which drops tomorrow. So I wanted to get a video out just so you know what is coming in 9.2, what important choices you are going to have to make, Covenant decisions, rotation, talents, double legendaries, tier set bonuses and all that kind of jazz. So before we get into the video today, important information for a disclaimer. The information that you are receiving has been obtained in collaboration with Mandel and Panthea, who write the Wowhead guides and the Icy Veins guides of Blood DK. Now, it's important to know that as the patch progresses, mainly in Mythic release week, we will probably see some changes to the Blood DK around numbers and tunings, possibly coming in the tier sets and the 4-piece and things like that. For the latest, most up-to-date information, make sure you're checking out the Wowhead and the Icy Veins guides or visiting the Acarus Discord community to ask any questions, or drop them to me in the comments below and I will do my best to make sure I get you the most appropriate and correct answer. The idea with these videos, and you will see a lot of the same info on the Wowhead guides and that, is to provide the same source of information across all the mediums as we can so everyone gets the right information. So this video is going to be short and sweet. We're going to kick through everything and we're going to start off with rotation. So nothing has been added in 9.2 that changes the core fundamental playstyles of our rotation as a Blood DK. If you want more information on the rotation, go and look at my original Shadowlands Blood DK guides that I released at the start of Shadowlands. They give you a full class breakdown, abilities and rotation. But if you've been playing Blood DK, you are playing it the exact same way in patch 9.2. Talents wise, nothing has changed in 9.2 to bring really any variance into our talent choices and decision making. You are still going to see the same common builds kicking around. Your choices between Heartbreaker or Blood Drinker, Hemostasis is always going to be a locked, Relish in Blood is probably going to be your raid pick, Blood Tap, if you can manage it properly, will be your Mythic Plus pick. Otherwise, stick with Relish in Blood. Will of the Necropolis is a lock. Grip of the Dead, Tightening Grasp, or Wraithwalk all have variation in choice capability in regards to what you need. Voracious or Bloodworms, same deal. And then same on the last row, Purgatory, Red Thirst, or Bone Storm, depending on what application you are seeking them for. But nothing else changes. One thing, however, that is worth being aware of is the positive interaction that one of our talents has with the set bonus, and that is Heartbreaker. Now, Heartbreaker actually has a positive interaction with our 4-piece bonus, Endless Rune Waltz. The 4-piece bonus gives you a chance equal to your parry chance to fire off a free Heart Strike. Now, if you're talented into Heartbreaker, your tier bonus's procced Heart Strike will grant you the bonus runic power from the talent on the main strike, and then an additional 5 runic power for each dancing rune weapon that's present. So this means that Heartbreaker will actually improve on its single target damage capability as well. It will still be behind Blood Drinker from a pure single target point of view, but the gap is much smaller now, which is nice. Along with this, it also means that Red Thirst will slightly be impacted as well if talented into that, as more runic power generated equals more cooldown via Red Thirst into Vampiric Blood, which is only a good thing. Now, it's not significantly groundbreaking, but it is there, it does have an impact, and more Vampiric Blood uptime is only good news for us. Covenant tuning, I'm afraid there's not a lot in this space. Necrolord did get some love though. Abomination Limb now deals 28.4% AP per tick of damage instead of 23.67% AP. So it's a nice little boost to A-Bomb Limb there. The Conduit Brutal Grasp has also received a buff, having its base increased damage change from 15% to 30%, which is great, and its cap has gone from 30% to 60%, which means now you will always use this potency conduit. It won't get outscaled by the others. So this is a nice little boost to those playing Necrolord DK, and I certainly suspect that we'll see some venturing out in the race for World First. And again, it's a really good Mythic Plus pick as well. Sadly though, that is it for Covenant tuning. Tier sets. So as I briefly mentioned, tier sets are back in the house for patch 9.2. The tier gear is 5 pieces of gear that requires you to have 4 of them equipped to receive the full 4 set bonus. There is a 2-piece bonus and a 4-piece bonus. The The two-piece bonus is whilst Dancing Rune Weapon is active, every Heart Strike extends Dancing Rune Weapon by half a second and grants you 1% strength. It persists for 10 seconds after Dancing Rune Weapon has expired. This is a fairly solid two-piece. Four-piece, you have a chance equal to your parry chance for you to retaliate with a free Heart Strike, which procs everything and grants you everything except for the 10 runic power that it comes from consuming a rune with Heart Strike. Additionally, when you use Dancing Rune Weapon, you summon a second Dancing Rune Weapon, which duplicates some but not all of its effects. Now, Dancing Rune Weapon grants 10 bonus runic power up from 5. Mararen now grants 6 bonus bones, and Death Strike will heal the weapon. Well, still heals the weapon, but it does it twice now. So you might be looking at the tier set and wondering, is it good? Might be a bit confused. Is it going to make a huge difference? I had originally heard when the tier sets came out that Blood DK was going to be OP in 9.2. Is this still true? What's going on? The set bonus isn't bad. It's pretty lackluster though, to be honest, when you compare it with something like Guardian Druid, Prot Paladin, Brewmaster. The thing is though, it's passive and it's solid and it's reliable. So we don't mind that. That's okay as a tank. The two-piece is going to give you the ability to extend Dancing Rune Weapon out to like 25 to 26 seconds, which is a really nice bonus in raids and dungeons, Mythic Plus especially. The four-piece is going to reduce your incoming melee damage taken. It's going to boost your parry chance. In the process from that, you're going to be firing out extra damage. So it doesn't have a huge gameplay impact, but the passive of it is solid and it is nice. We have seen quite a few changes to the four-piece. Originally, it was on a 0.1 second ICD, which meant that it was spitting out a lot of damage via the free Heart Strikes. The more dangerous situations you would put yourself in, pretty much the more damage you were doing. And this is kind of when everyone started to go nuts for the Big Red Machine. It then got changed to a 3-second ICD, and that's when everyone was kind of rip Big Red Machine. When I talk about ICD, 3-second ICD, what I mean is by that is you can only proc one bonus Heart Strike every 3 seconds from your tier bonus. It was 0.1 second, which means that you were spitting out Heart Strikes faster than a slot machine. 3 seconds though obviously curves the damage profile on that a little bit. It still puts us in a good position though. So what legendary do you use in patch 9.2? Well, the good news is that nothing really changes. Raid is pretty much going to 99% of the time favor Super Strain. So you can just stick with Super Strain there. Mythic Plus is going to favor Crimson Rune Weapon again pretty much. So again, nothing changes there. More good news, what slot do you want these in? Nothing changes here either. Neck, Super Strain. Belt, Crimson Rune Weapon. Stay the course, my fellow DKs. The Covenant Legendaries will most likely be crafted on boots, braces, or rings, but this is all going to depend on what pieces you have after you complete Chapter 7 and hit Revered. So, moving into double Legendaries now. They'll become available after completing Chapter 7 of the Zereth Mortis questline, Souls Entwined, which I think is about week 3 of Mythic Raid release. The catch, of course, with double legendaries is you don't actually have the freedom of all legendaries to choose for your double. You have to wear your Covenant's legendary as a second. Now, pretty much all our Covenant legendaries have little to no impact on our playstyle or anything to a massive degree that's going to offer something hugely different by equipping one over the other. So you'll just simply be wearing whatever Covenant legendary you're bound to at the time and rolling on playing the same way. So Covenant Legendaries and tuning. So we're going to start with Kyrian. Now, Final Sentence actually received a pretty hefty overhaul, granting the rune and the damage increase buff when the shackle is applied now instead of when it spreads. So all this means is it's just gotten better on single target, basically. It's one rune and 4% extra damage done, basically. The damage buff was buffed to 4% per stack, up from 3%, so that's super. But in granting this enormous buff, we actually saw the duration decreased from 18 seconds down to 15 seconds. A little bit feels bad. Night Fae Rampant Transference. This now grants 3% strength per stack, up from 2%. So now you can reach 20% extra strength, which in a raid setting is going to be very viable when you can keep 100% uptime at the boss, provided there's no major movement impacts through that fight. In Mythic Plus, it's a little bit trickier, but it is a nice bonus. Necrolord's Abomination's Frenzy. This now grants 20% bonus damage up from 10%, so more good news for the Necrolords. And Venthia Insatiable Hunger, absolutely nothing changed. It's still the same. It's not a terrible legendary though. So moving into the burning desired questions of what is the best covenant in 9.2 for Blood DK? What do I pick, man? What do I go? Honestly, there's no real set answer. All 4 covenants are absolutely fine, and unless you're on the cusp of something world first and, you know, groundbreaking, play what you like. It is the best answer I can give you. All 4 covenants have been viable the entire expansion pretty much. Night Phase definitely lagged, but they've all been viable. We've seen them in really high keys. We've seen them in really high raid settings. All 4 covenants, all viable. Obviously, Necrolord has lent itself to further situations in the raid in Soul Render, and I would think it's going to come out on Anduin as well. But aside from that, play what you like. If you want to get super generalized, raid pick-wise, you could probably opt that Kyrian and Necrolords are going to be your best general purpose picks. Kyrian is going to be your best general purpose raid pick. Necrolord is going to be your best pick for any raid encounter that has ads involved in it. You know, outside of that, as I said, Night Fate is going to be a solid choice if you can get, if you can rotationally play it properly without dropping your stacks. B, if the fight has little movement in it, and C, if you can make sure that you've got 100% uptime on the boss. Venthia is going to fall behind in a raid setting unless you can use Door of Shadows for something in particular, or there's some ad section where you can, you know, leverage Swarming Mists for some great boosted benefit. Venthia is kind of going to lag outside of raid. Mythic Plus wise though, the best covenant for you is whatever your group needs you to play, basically. All 4 covenants, as I've mentioned, are viable. Now, one thing I do want to mention is you will no doubt have seen a lot of high-end Blood DKs playing or talking about Night Fae moving into 9.2. Now, don't get me wrong. In the extremely high end of keys, Night Fae is not a bad choice, okay? But it's a very, very niche choice, and I feel I need to underline that for you, okay? You give up a lot of quality of life as a player to go Night Fae for a very niche benefit, okay? Now, when you go Night Fae, you lose out on burst damage moving into packs, which Kyrian gives you, which Necrolord gives you, with Venthia gives you. So picking up aggro, large amounts of damage, you give up on that by going Night Fae. You lose a lot of utility going Night Fae. You've got no File, you've got no Door of Shadows when you're kiting, you've got no A-Bomb Limb, you've got no Fleshcraft. So you sacrifice all of that to go Night Fae around this idea of boosting runic power generation, strength, and damage reduction. Now for normal players, which is probably like 85% of the DK population, it's probably not a worthwhile choice for you. Okay, I'm not trying to be an asshole, it just probably isn't. A-Bomb Limb is still going to deal more damage. Swarming Mist is still going to provide you with more runic power and do more damage. So don't get suckered in because you're seeing the 0.1% of the player base playing Night Fae and saying how good it is. You will probably come off worse playing Night Fae if you play it like a potato and are dropping your stacks all the time and are not extending your buff moving into your next, and you're not hard casting D&D and things like that. You will probably come off worse. So that's just food for thought. Of course, it's a game and you do whatever you want, but you know, I'm just trying to give you the right information. Okay guys, so final thoughts heading into 9.2. Now obviously a lot can change, but DK is situated pretty well. In regards to the raid scenario, I think Brewmasters and Prop Paladins are probably going to be the big flavor choices in the raid that we'll be seeing. Obviously don't know that until kickoff, and I have no idea what the guilds have planned for strategies and things like that, but I'm kind of tipping that Prop Paladin and Brewmaster are going to be what we're going to see a lot of. Anduin, I think the DKs will come out. The Necrolord DKs will probably come out to play on that one, but again, we'll find out. Mythic Plus wise, I think DK is still situated sort of middle of the pack. I think Prop Paladin and Brewmaster are going to own Mythic Plus. I think Guardian Druid's still going to be really strong as well. And then I think DK is going to be sort of wedged in at number 4 with the Vengeance Demon Hunter, and Prot Warrior is going to be down the bottom, same as it's going to be down the bottom in the raid as well. So DK middle of the packs for both forms of content in my mind. I still think it's going to be extremely viable though. And if you are looking to main DK in 9.2, it's still a good choice. Don't be deterred from it. It's still, in my opinion, the most fun tank to play. And I still think we are going to be fine. So if you have any questions, pop them in the comments below. Let me know if you're going to continue with DK into 9.2. And otherwise, I will see you all next time, and I will see you in 9.2 Legends. See ya.